Hi, welcome to Chakra Sessions. I'm your host, Polly Jo Labbe. I am excited to be here this morning because we are working on healing the inner child energy. And while we may not realize how much that impacts us, imagine a mini me within your body, and that when that gets cranky and throws a fit, it affects our whole life and everything that's going on with it. So it's exciting to see that we are going to be in this space of healing our inner child. And as we do that, I welcome you to, really reach in and find what's going on with yours. So just a little bit about me. I'm Polly Jo Labbe. I am the owner and director of Trinity Healing Sanctuary and Trinity School of Mystical Energy Healing. Apparently my inner child is excited and has my tongue tied all up in knots. So you'll have to excuse me today. So we here do healing on all aspects of your energy body because it impacts your physical, your emotional, your mental, and your spiritual health. And we all have things going on in our lives all the time because we interact with other people and we interact with the planet. And when we are able to work on and control what's going on within ourselves, we actually can help relax the chaos that is going on around us and in our environment. So good morning, Rob. I always love my morning check-in with Rob. And he always says, "What'd you know, Polly Jo?" I'm noticing that your profile these days, your picture is the Dark Night of the Soul, sweetheart, from the tarot. And I think we all go through the dark night of the soul. That is a time when we are challenged to change our belief system, challenged to change who we are. And usually because it's time for us to expand into a newer, fuller version of ourselves. And so we take this time of stress and struggle, and then we breathe into it and expand into something even more magnificent. I spent a lot of the fall in the dark night of the soul, Rob, and so I totally get that one. So as we are here, we're going to be working on our healing our inner child. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Hi, Steve. What a beautiful picture of you and your grandbaby there. What a sweetie pie. Glad to see you. I hope to get up to Maine soon. I have an expo that I think I'm going to be doing this July, and you guys will be at, so we will have to connect soon. And good morning to Miss Neshi. Hi, Neshi. I'm really happy to see the queen of Star Nations Radio here in the house. She makes everything happen and gets us where we need to be. And really supports us in our mission of helping you, and my mission of healing the healers on the planet, because it is so time necessary that we all get to work. There's way too much going on. So, oh, nice. So Rochelle shares, "Hi, went to an aura and chakra seminar yesterday. Very interesting. A lot of violets, fuchsias, blue, white, encompassing me." That is one of the really cool things that you can do with your chakra and your aura. People have difficulty if they don't get to see it. For those of us who are seers, we see it already and we try to explain it to you, but we don't always have a picture. And the new aura photography that a lot of people are doing is quite amazing. It shows you what's going on around you and within you. At my school here at Trinity School of Mystical Energy Healing, our students get their auras photographed at the beginning and the end of each year so they can see how their energy system has evolved, and they get to see their chakras and how they've changed shape and size and often color even. So I'm glad you got to have that experience, Rochelle, because that gives you a sense of what we're going to do today. And today, like I said earlier, it's all about healing your inner child energy. And the inner child resides within each one of us. And they are the one who really bring us our joy, our wonderment, our happiness, and the fullness of our love, and how we can be in that space. Because if you think of children when they're young, they're just full of curiosity, and they love everyone. It doesn't occur to them to not love somebody, or they go right up to people because they can feel the energy and they want to be near them. And most of us have shut that down in some fashion, some of us more than others. And when we shut down that energy, it actually shuts down one whole chamber of our heart. And so can you imagine that everybody who isn't tapping into their inner child energy, they've shut down 25% of the love that they can give themselves and to other people. And so today we're going to really work on our heart and our heart chamber so that our inner child feels safe enough to come out and be part of what's going on the planet. And this is a really timely healing. I've done this healing before. I think I did it back either in the summer or early fall. But what happens is when we have events on the planet where our children are suffering, or we feel out of control, like we can't protect our children the way we want to or need to, our inner child can go into hiding. And that is a safety mechanism, because it's not always safe to be joyous and wonderful. But the reality is that's who's going to help us create change. The children create change, and not just our young children who are, being brave and, stepping forward in huge ways, but our own inner child, because we all have that child within us. So if you think you have somebody in your life or somebody connected to you who's going to need to hear this, one of the best ways that we get the healing out is for you to like and share this post. So as you like and share the video, it spreads out to reach more and more people who might be in need. And it's one little way that we can each spread the joy and spread the love and spread the healing. So if you get a moment to do that, I appreciate it. I'm sure Neshi probably already has. Yes, Rob, perfectly. Rob says adults have learned to follow blindly and as if they're told. And they follow what other people say, and they just believe it, yes, and do as they're told. The truth is that we all have been programmed with the beliefs of our parents, the beliefs of our religion, the beliefs of our society, and we have been domesticated. I like that word, that into following a particular belief pattern. And when we were children, we had no ability to really do anything about it. We couldn't question it. And if it didn't feel true to us, but everybody else said it was true, we started to question our own truth, which is also hard for the inner child to manage. And when we are stepping into this new energy of healing our inner child, we're giving our inner child back the permission to own its own truth. And that we as the adult will now love and support whatever truth our inner child holds. So that is really helpful. So Neshi, who's right on top of it, is reminding you guys, the way to contact me is through my website, trinityhealingsanctuaries.com. That is also the place where my healing remedies that I have channeled, the divine channels through me, these healing remedies using essential oils. I touch people or I hold their energy and the recipe often appears. And there are certain recipes that were created or for a lot of people. And actually the inner child blend came out yesterday and is still not even on, it's not on the website yet, but the healing blend has been created. The recipe came through at the end of last week's session, which was really cool. It's how I knew that's what we were talking about. Yes. And so Rob mentions bring up with a child in the way of faith. And the difficulty is we all have our own perception of the divine. One of the things that we will do in our healing meditation is we are going to connect to our own personal divine energy. And that is different for each one of us. Have a good day, Rob. He's saying he will check the rest out in the archives. He's such a busy guy, but I'm always happy when he checks in. So when we connect with our version of the divine and call in the healing energy, it is specific for you. I am just a conduit that helps guide you. I will channel the meditation through me. It's not written down somewhere as a way to do it, and it varies depending on who's listening. But even if you are listening in the future and not in this moment live, that the fact that you are at this point in the broadcast means you were meant to hear this meditation and really connect with that, because it's a part of you that needs some additional healing. So with that, we're going to start to move into the healing meditation. And then afterwards, we'll discuss what came up. If you are new to the show and haven't watched me before, as part of my healing medicine, I will be making noises, like little clearing noises that might sound a little bit like a burp or a squawk. That is some of my ancient healing that comes through me. It's how I clear the energy of so many people all at once. Sometimes it's more than I can ground. So if you can imagine healing a few hundred people all in the same moment, that is what's occurring. So it takes a little juice. And so there's often a little bit of clearing noise. And my students here at Trinity School of Mystical Energy Healing, they're thankful for when I make the noises, because it means something big is moving for the entire group. And you may even find that you are going to yawn or sneeze or burp or something that for yourself as you're clearing your own energy. And that's not surprising as well, especially if you're empathic, because sometimes we pick up the energy of other people who are clearing with us. So I want you to create your own sacred space right now, which means, give yourself somewhere to sit comfortably, get relaxed, or lay down if that's more what works for you. In this moment, I want you to uncross your arms and your legs. We want our circuit as wide open as we can. When we cross our arms or legs, we actually block the energy flow. And when we do that, it makes it difficult for the energy not to ricochet back up into another part of our body. So we just want it to flow as gently and as evenly as water. And start taking a few deep breaths, because we really want to be in the fullest space of our physical body. So as you're breathing, just really feel the weight of your bones and your muscles and your connection to the chair or the floor, however you may be listening to this. Good. And as you are breathing, just imagine that gravity is really pressing down on you, really allowing the Earth Mother to hold your energy tightly and in connection with her. For we are here at this moment on the earth to serve the earth energy and serve our purpose here on the earth plane. And anchoring within that energy is very important for us to really connect with who we are meant to be as we walk our path at this moment.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call in and invite the divine energy, however you perceive that, to come in and assist us with this healing today. And as always, we do so for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves.
Yeah.
We ask that a sacred bubble of love and light be surrounding us, creating this gentle space for us to do our healing and our clearing.
Yeah.
We invite in our ancestors and our guides and our angels, our master teachers, the ascended masters, all divine of the highest vibrational frequency and the fullest vibration that we are able to connect with in this moment of now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we invite the divine to come in through the top of our head, through the crown, and begin to clear our energy, taking away anything that no longer serves us or any energy that we may have picked up from other people or our environment, energy that isn't even ours to begin with. And you may sense or feel or know that the divine energy above the head is waiting for you.
Yeah.
It is often white or gold in color. You may feel tingling heat or coolness or just pressure as the divine knocks on the door of the crown, asking permission to come in to serve you in your healing.
Yeah.
So take a moment of gratitude for the energy showing up for you in this moment, and gently grant permission for the healing to occur for you and for your inner child.
Yeah.
So we're going to begin by clearing the energy in our brain and in our third eye around our forehead. You may sense it as a shade of purple or dark blue.
Yeah.
And in the third eye, I invite you to call back any energy that you have sent out in a distracted state, into the future, into the past. Call it all home to you in this moment so that the fullness of your energy can be healed.
Yeah.
Knowing that as we call our energy back within us, we release our anxiety, our stress, and our overwhelm.
Yeah.
Our worry, our doubt,
Yeah.
even our shame, blame, and guilt that may have spread our energy apart from within us.
Yeah.
And as the energy shifts within the third eye, take a deep breath and allow the energy to shift any perceptions that no longer serve your highest best.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, beliefs, or patterns that no longer function for you as the being that you are now or are meant to be.
Yeah.
And allow the energy to clear through your ears, opening the pathways and the portals for messages to come through from the divine and the loved ones who are now in spirit.
Yeah.
Open all the channels of communication with souls, either in physical or non-physical form.
Yeah.
Making room for your intuition to expand to what it is meant to be for you.
Yeah.
Opening the energy around the jaw and the throat so that you can fully express who you are in each and every moment, speaking from a place of your authentic truth.
Yeah.
Opening up the unique way that you express who you are and how you are meant to be.
Yeah.
And opening up the communication so that you are heard clearly and so that you may hear others clearly through their words, through their vibration, through their intention.
Yeah.
And gently allow the energy running along the back of your neck to calm and relax, releasing the tension and the stress that you've carried here.
Yeah.
Relaxing the energy in the shoulders, releasing the burdens that you carry for yourself, for others. Just in this moment, so that you may have a few moments of self-peace.
Yeah.
Any burdens that are yours to carry, you will pick back up at the end of the meditation. So simply allowing yourself to breathe in this moment. And moving the energy down into your rib cage, beginning to cleanse your lungs
Yeah.
and the breath of life that flows within you. In moments of stress and anxiety, we shallow our breathing, we shrink our capacity, and in so doing, we
Yeah.
compress the energy that surrounds the heart. So allowing your breath to fully clear and fully release will give your heart even more room to beat with the flow of life that is you in this moment.
Yeah.
And moving into the heart, really clearing each chamber gently.
Yeah.
Allowing the energy to release and clear, making room for more love, compassion, forgiveness
Yeah.
for yourself and also for others. Allowing any old grief, sadness, or disappointed to simply melt into the ethers.
Yeah.
Because the weight of the energy in the heart can be difficult for the inner child to stretch and grow.
Yeah.
And we ask in this moment that our inner warrior, our inner sage, and our inner adult all hold space for our inner child. Create a sacred circle for our inner child to feel safe, guided, and protected.
Yeah.
And as we move into the belly, releasing any fear or old anger that may reside there, the resentment and judgment that we carry for ourselves and for others,
Yeah.
the ways we have squeezed our self-esteem, our self-worth,
Yeah. Yeah.
the ways we have closed our fire so that it is not in its fullest place. And just really allow the breath to fill those spots and those places in our belly.
Yeah.
And allowing our anxiety, fear, overwhelm, even panic to begin to relax and dissolve, for they're not needed right in this moment.
Yeah.
In this moment, you are here for you
Yeah.
in a beautiful and expansive way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bringing your fire back into balance so that you ignite your personal flame. You ignite the divine spark within you to shine brightly, yet not out of control like a wildfire.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And moving our energy down into our lower belly, into our womb of creation, which holds true for men and for women. In that space, we may sense the orange, bright glow of our water element, that which flows within us.
Yeah.
And allowing any old emotions that we have held onto or not expressed to gently dissolve in the water element to be released.
Yeah.
For that energy holds our lower belly in the past.
Yeah.
Releasing any ways where we have had toxic relationships with others and with ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Releasing any energy around addictions or abuse.
Yeah.
To ourselves, to others, from others. We're simply bearing witness to these energies can create trauma pockets that hold within the lower belly, blocking our ability to create in the fullness that we are meant to create. Clearing the spinal column,
Yeah.
gently allowing us to feel supported and guided and held by the divine energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anchoring the energy in our hips and allowing our hips to gently send the energy down both of our legs. And as it moves in this fashion, it expands our foundation, the base of our support, so that we merge with the energy of the earth and the divine and ourselves in our own personal holy trinity.
Yeah.
And when we are able to anchor the divine energy within ourselves, with the earth, we create a nice, stable spot for our inner child, a home on a strong foundation filled with safety and security.
Yeah.
And now I invite you to return to the heart, to the inner child.
Yeah.
Filling the inner child with the love of the universe. Imagining their heart expanding and stretching. Releasing old wounds that it may be holding on to.
Yeah.
Any stuck energy that may be within our child, so that our child is stuck in the past and not playing with us in this moment.
Yeah.
And I invite in the energy of the elementals and the fairies to tickle and surround and remind the inner child of the joy and wonderment that it held when we were first brought into creation on this earth plane.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And we take a moment to ask our inner child how it communicates to us and through us.
Yeah.
Does it give us signals in our mood, in our emotions?
Yeah.
Can we feel it somewhere within our body when our inner child is in a moment of distress?
Yeah. Yeah.
And really expand and breathe into your personal relationship with your inner child. Become the adult, become the parent of your inner child.
Mm.
Treat your child as you wish to have been treated in your childhood. For no one knows how to take care of you better than you.
Yeah.
And now I invite you to call in your angelic energy, your guides, your ancestors, whichever aspect appeals to you as creating a guardian for your inner child. A fairy godmother, a grandparent.
Yeah.
And hold the energy with your inner child so that your inner child understands and is able to fully stretch within your heart. Allow the energy to begin to ground beneath you, moving down through your body, down through your legs, through your feet, through the floor, through the earth, all the way through all the amazing layers, past rocks and crystals and dinosaur bones, to reach the center of the Earth Mother's heart. And allow your energy to fully envelop that molten lava center so that your inner child can feel the heartbeat of the mother once more. Creating the calm energy of being held, cared for, nourished.
Yeah.
And now take a moment of gratitude for the divine and the angels and guides and ancestors who've showed up to you, through you, today, in this moment.
Yeah.
Thankful for the healing that you and your inner child have received.
Yeah.
Now, taking a few deep breaths, you can begin to relax and release your healing meditation.
Yeah.
There was quite a bit of clearing to be done there. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Welcome, Becca. I'm glad you were able to check in. Sending love energy back to you.
Yeah.
So our inner child is like any other child on the planet. It gets cranky when it's kept inside all day. You know, the winter weather can make it extremely difficult for our children and our adults the same way. The children, we know they need to be outside and they need to play. And any parent out there, you know, knows that during school vacation weeks, if you don't have things to keep them occupied, the weight of the sadness from the lack of play can be huge. And the same holds true for us as adults. We often forget that we need play, that we need nature, that we need movement, that, you know, our energy gets stuck in our houses, in our cars, in our jobs. It's just really, really difficult for them to connect to. And so when you are connecting to your inner child, it's one of those things that it's like they need to come out, they need to stretch, and they need to play. Hi, Renee. Renee says, great meditation. And my inner child is so ready to play. I saw a whole fairy village. Well, of course you did. You have so much, you know, of that eternal child energy, and the fairies just love to come play. We have a very large fairy tree here at Trinity Healing Sanctuary, and the fairies come to play, and they're so active, especially in the spring, summer, and into the fall. It takes a little more coaxing in the winter, but we run into their energy quite a lot. And the fairies always come play when there are children here. And that is true even if it's you holding the energy of your inner child ready to play. The fairy energy comes in to help guide that.
Yeah.
And Renee is sending love to Kimmy. Kimmy is one of my students, Kimberly, who is very pregnant and due any day now. And Bodhi is taking his time on choosing when he is going to come and when it's going to be right for him. But the energy of, her inner child is so ready to play with this new child that she is ready to go. So, and her little daughter, Sophia, already carries that joy and wonderment. And so when we get to connect to that child within us, it really transforms and transmutes our energy. One of the things that I remember when my children were younger was that I was so happy to be a parent because then I had an excuse to play again, to get, Legos and play with them, or to draw and color, or go watch a Disney movie and, create, help them create the Halloween costumes that they wanted. And my boys were very imaginative, so they kept my creative being and my inner child flowing all the time. And so now that they are adults, I don't have that instant time to do it. And so I tend to do it as, auntie, or sort of a grandmother energy for some of my students' children, and definitely mom energy for a number of my students. So take an opportunity to play. And it can be, actual child play. My inner child loves a good swing set. So she gets a little cranky when we're here in the winter because it's hard for me to get to a swing set. But, being able to use crayons and color and create things is really helpful. My inner child really enjoys and loves tapping into that energy. So as you look around for things and signs that your inner child is out of whack, see when you're behaving childish. Somebody will say you're being childish, or you will feel childish. So if you're pouting or whining or you're cranky, all of those Snickers moments, I love that commercial, where people are just cranky and, you're not yourself. You need a Snickers. Well, when you're not yourself, you're usually, your inner child is trying to throw a tantrum. And it can even literally show up that way for you. I've had clients who, are crying and over nothing. They are having trouble sleeping. They're overtired. They're whiny. They are annoying themselves and everyone around them. And that's always a sign that your inner child needs to play. So think of ways to really bring that energy out so that you can hold your inner child energy fully in every moment, because that energy, they are the ones who create our magical life for us. And if we don't give them space to imagine bigger things, imagine things in a fuller way, then our life becomes pretty dull and pretty boring. But when we let our inner child loose, and brainstorming and creating in any way that calls to you, and if you don't have that energy flowing, then what did you do when you were a child? How did you play? I was a dance teacher, and I was a dancer for years and years. I still love to dance, but my body doesn't always love to dance the way I used to. But I would create dances and shows, and even if I just lined up my stuffed animals to be my audience, I could spend hours and hours and hours listening to music, making up dances, coming up with a costume in my closet. That was a big thing for me. For my kids, they were always into any kind of painting, coloring, drawing. They loved working with clay, and even just, taking their Tonka trucks out in the mud. We would actually create a mud patch. We would get it all wet so that they could just get deep and dirty. Obviously, we hosed them off before we had to come in to take a bath, but it was like textural and something that they needed to do. And maybe you listen to music. Maybe you liked to do things like every time Easter rolls around, my grandmother always bought outdoor toys as part of Easter. So things like having sidewalk chalk and drawing outside, or having bubbles to blow. I love to give away bubbles at my events because everybody's inner child tends to light up when they see bubbles, or using those little bouncy balls, or jumping rope. My latest way to tap into my inner child has been using my son's Wii. I mean, I know I'm a little outdated with the Wii, but I am mom, so I haven't been granted access to things like the PS4. But I could have the old Wii, and on the Wii, there's like dance, Just Dance, I think it's called, where you can, mimic the moves on the screen and you're dancing with them. So it's like you're at a little party. And I've taken to doing the rock band, singing along with the songs, and watching it go up and down. So my inner child likes that we're playing a game, but that we're also getting to do something. And those have been a couple of my ways to tap in more recently. So I invite you to share any ways that your inner child likes to play in the comment section, because it might give some other people some ideas, especially if their inner child is stuck, and feeling a little cabin fever-ish, depending on the weather and what's going on for you. It gets really difficult to find imaginative things to do to help heal your inner child. And realize that the inner child carries all the woundings of our childhood. And I'm not saying that people have had horrible childhoods, but think back to when you were pre-verbal, before you understood vocabulary. Your parents might have said no. I'm sure they did, right? So when they said no, they didn't give you an explanation. And when you started to be able to use your words, you would say, why? And sometimes they would answer you truthfully, and sometimes they would say, because I said so. And so in those moments, your child felt hurt. And those little hurts begin to add up. And there are all ways that we were trying to keep our children safe, and our parents were trying to keep us safe initially. But then there were other things, like it was okay to run around in a diaper when you were 2, but when you were 4, it wasn't okay. So why did the rule change? So things like that became confusing, and our inner child looked to us to answer it. And in that moment, we couldn't answer it either because we didn't know. And so we all have wounding of some sort for our inner child, ways that our inner child became afraid to play and afraid to come out. And so I encourage you to, investigate the ways that you maybe are parenting your inner child the way your parents parented you. My parents were educators, and they often had a lot of writing and things to do. So there was a lot of work in libraries that they had to do. My mom was writing her PhD. My dad wrote his PhD when I was young. So there were a lot of times where I needed to keep myself busy, but I had to be quiet. So I read a lot, but that wasn't necessarily play. Sometimes it was, if you found a really imaginative story, but sometimes you just wanted to jump and scream and dance around, and you had to be quiet. So all of those things will take, little ways that you squeeze your inner child. And that's what I mean by woundings. And I'm sure some of you actually had abuse that happened, verbal or physical or emotional. And you already know how that's impacted your inner child. But even those little hurts that we accumulated through our lifetimes, it really makes a difference.
Yeah.
So one of the things that has my inner child gets excited about is the remedies that I believe my inner child creates and downloads for me, connects to the energy for me, because then I get to go and mix up a new blend. So one of the new blends that got created just last week is the inner child blend. And the energy of the inner child blend connects you to your inner child, allows the energy of the inner child to breathe and stretch and take root in your life, because that's where you create from. So if you want more magical things in your life to happen, if you want to find the job that you're meant to have, if you're wanting to find the relationship that you're meant to have, that's how you can really connect with your inner child and really start to bring that on tap. And the blend actually helps the inner child to become more active, which is really helpful. So, yeah, I just wanted to share. Renee said, singing fun songs like I Won't Grow Up just while she's working around the house works for her. Absolutely. My grandmother used to sing to me, You Are My Sunshine. So whenever I hear that, it fills my sunshine energy, my solar plexus energy fills up, and my inner child gets excited. It's part of the reason why I love some of the Christmas music as well, because there's certain songs that just bring my inner child out, because that's all it reminds me of. Yeah. So, oh, nice. Kimberly says, love you too, Renee. Sophia, Bodhi, and I are all listening. So Sophia is one of my little spiritual grandchildren, and she's got the perfect inner child. And Bodhi is, like I said earlier, hiding out, ready to come out at some point. We'll get to see him in person. Energetically, he and I have had quite a connection already. And Kimberly is a student here at the school. She's one of my second-year students, as is Renee. And when you really are able to activate, your inner child, you start to create playmates as well. So it's not a surprise to me that two classmates showed up on the show at the same time, to be able to connect their inner children together, because that's, really cute. Oh, and Sophia said hi. Sophia's not 2 years old yet, so we really enjoy little Sophia, and you can't start them on their spiritual journey too early, as far as I'm concerned. So I love the fact that we have 2 pregnant mamas in one of our classes this year, because then they get to choose how they rear their children now, and in a way where they can let their inner child play when it needs to, and really limits the wounding that we create as parents. So when you guys are thinking and feeling and connecting to your inner child, I really encourage you, like I said, really play, especially if you're feeling tired and cranky and run down. That is always prime time for the inner child to release. And hold the energy that your inner child is in your heart. The inner child energy resides in the upper right hand compartment, the chamber of your heart. And they need space. You can always imagine white light going in and giving them healing if it needs it. So with that, those of you who are in the Western Mass, Connecticut, Albany area, we are having on Thursday our full moon healer share. We do it every full moon, and we do the healing meditation and healer share. And it's open to healers and to the general public. In the healing meditation, we connect to the energy of the divine, the earth, and the moon. And when those 3 weave together within us, we can create powerful change within our lives. And we do the healing work afterwards, after the meditation, to allow you to release anything that's keeping you from connecting to the fullest ability and the fullest essence of you. And it gives the students a chance to practice and stretch. And we encourage other healers of other modalities to join us, because sharing the healing energy and the love is important. And it allows each one of us to be in our purpose. And I can't ask for something better than that. So that is on Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. on the 1st. And we actually will have it again on the 31st, because there's 2 full moons in March. So the second full moon will be quite a doozy. And that is on Saturday, March 31st. And that's from 6 to 8 p.m. as well. And it's a time for us to share community and healing with each other. So I invite you to join us for that. If you would like information about our school, I'm going to type it in here. I can't type and channel very well at the same time. So I'm hoping I put this in. Yeah. It's trinitymysticalenergy.com. That's where you can find out information about our school. You can like us on Facebook or like our Facebook page. And again, if you enjoyed this meditation, this teaching, I highly encourage you to like and share it so that other people can get a moment to do their own healing. Because as we heal the child within us, we can start to heal the planet and heal how we treat our children. Because we need to remember that the focus is on the next generation. And they need to feel safe and loved in each and every moment. And that change comes from us. And with that, share the love, share it all. If you would like just a healing meditation, I have my other show called Soul Connections. And that is tomorrow evening here on Be Live TV from 7 to 8 p.m. That is healing and channeled messages from the divine. And I look forward to seeing you next week or tomorrow or Thursday here in person. And with that, you guys have a marvelous, beautiful day. day. Thank you and have a great one.